Hi, and welcome to another segment of the LS13320 How To Video Series. My name is Bill Bars, and today we're going to briefly walk through the steps required to create an SOP. Remember, an SOP consists of two pieces of information. That's the SOM, which is a standard operating method, which is basically how we set up the instrument to take the measurement, and the preference file, which is how we're going to report the data. So we're going to continue on and demonstrate this process. So we're going to come up to the Run option. We're going to slide down to Create an SOM, because that's the first step. So the first thing we're going to do is give an SOM description. I put SOM demo. Sample description, again I put SOM demo. Nothing further needs to be done on this particular step. 1 of 5. So hit the next button. File ID. This is where you have fields where you can enter in information that is pertinent to the sample that you are about to measure. So I put SOM, sample ID 123456, run. I'm going to change that back to run number 1. That's where I want to start. If this is a control sample, which means I'm trying to just determine whether or not the instrument is measuring properly, I can click this on or off. So I'm going to click it off. The sample statistics is a quality assurance step that allows you to put in lower limit, upper limit, and nominal values. So when you make your measurement, it'll give you pass-fail criteria. We're not going to do that for the purpose of this demonstration. So we're going to hit Next. Here are the run cycle steps in the SOM wizard. When we first push start, we want a dialog box to come up so we can enter in specific sample information. That's why this was checked. We're going to measure offsets every 60 minutes or every hour. We're going to perform an alignment, again, every 30 minutes while this is checked. We're going to measure the background every time, and then we're going to begin the run. Run cycle options. Here are some of the parameters you can change. Measure offset for 30 seconds every 60 minutes, etc. It's all pretty much self-explanatory. I won't spend much time on that. So we're ready to hit Next. Here's where we're going to set up the run settings. You set the obscuration value somewhere between 4 and 6% when you're using the dry powder system, or what's affectionately known as the tornado. These vacuum settings don't normally need to be set, but we set the lower air limit at 9 and the upper at 24. Target vacuum is about 10. Here's the other parameters we can set up. Compute sizes, if we want to do that during the run, or if we don't check that, it'll be after the run is complete. Save the file. We select the optical model. If you don't know what the material is, good one to select is Fraunhofer. If you do, you can actually go into the library built right within the software and select the optical model that is appropriate for your sample. Here is where you would determine what folder that you want the information saved in when you check the Save File button. So we're moving on to step 5 of 5, which is simply a summary of settings. Basically, it's going to show you all the parameters that you just set up. So you're going to go ahead and hit Save. Here's where you save the file name specific to your particular sample. In this case, the SOM demo. And then we underscore DPS again for dry powder system. So this is more intuitive information in the file name to help us locate it later on. So we're just going to hit Save. It says it already exists, and we know that. I'm going to go ahead and hit Yeah, we'll replace it. So now we're done with the SOM. For the purpose of this demonstration, we're not going to create a preference file, which is again how we report the data. In most cases, we're just going to use the default preferences settings. So remember what I said about an SOP. An SOP consists of two pieces of information. That's an SOM, the method, and a preference file, which is the report structure. So now we're going to hit the Run button. We're going to create an SOP. So again, there's our two pieces of information, SOM file, preference file. Hit Select, come down to SOM demo, underscore DPS, that's the one we just created. Hit Open, go to Preference File, hit Select, here's our default preference file. Hit Open. This now identifies the two pieces of information that we're going to use to create that SOP. So we're going to hit Save. Again, we're going to call this one Demo. And if the file type is SOP, we're going to hit Save. When that is complete, we come up, when we want to run this particular SOP, we simply hit Load SOP. We hit Demo SOP, that's the one we just created.
We hit open, and now all the parameters that we just created as a function of the demo SOM, the preference file which was default, those two married together, makes you the SOP which that we saved as demo. We just loaded it. It is now active, and all those parameters are enabled, and now we're ready to run a test. This is Bill Bars reporting. Good day.